When you think of technology giants, few names are as foundational as Microsoft. It's a company that has shaped how we work, play, and communicate with computers. But behind its innovations lies a subtle visual journey, one that spans decades of digital transformation. The Microsoft logo has changed alongside the evolution of the tech world itself. And just like the company, the logo started out scrappy, evolved with ambition, and settled into sleek confidence. The story begins in 1975. Bill Gates and Paul Allen, two childhood friends with a passion for computing, founded Microsoft. The original logo? Let's just say it was very 1970s. The first Microsoft logo, designed in 1975, featured a disco-style font with jagged edges and dramatic angles. It looked more like a rock band logo than a software company. But that was the era. Bold, rebellious, and experimental. It reflected a startup spirit in a world just beginning to understand personal computing. In 1980, the logo underwent its first serious transformation. The new design featured a more solid and conservative look. It used a sans serif font and introduced a new emphasis on clean lines. While still very much of its time, it showed Microsoft taking itself a bit more seriously as it began working closely with companies like IBM and developing software for early personal computers. Then came 1982. Microsoft released a new logo that would remain in use for 5 years. This version is often referred to as the Blibbit logo. Why? Because of the O in Microsoft, it had horizontal lines cutting through it, which fans nicknamed the Blibbit. It gave the logo a sense of motion and techiness, almost like a spinning disc. For many fans and early employees, the Blibbit remains iconic, so much so that when Microsoft retired it in the late 1980s, there was even a Save the Blibbit campaign internally. But by 1987, Microsoft had grown into a global tech powerhouse. It needed a logo to match. That year, it introduced the logo most people associate with the early Windows era. This version used a bold, italicized typeface with a sharp cut between the O and the S, something the designers called the slash. This clean, no-nonsense wordmark captured Microsoft's growing maturity and dominance in the software industry. It was the face of the Windows revolution, Microsoft Office, and the explosion of personal computing in homes and offices. This 1987 logo remained unchanged for a staggering 25 years. It saw Microsoft through the launch of Windows 95, the rise of the internet, and even the arrival of competitors like Google and Apple surging ahead in innovation. But by the early 2010s, Microsoft was pivoting. The world was becoming mobile, cloud-based, and design-focused. Microsoft needed to evolve not just its products, but its image. In 2012, that transformation came to life with a new logo. This was a radical departure. For the first time in its history, the Microsoft logo featured a symbol, a square made up of 4 colored tiles: red, green, blue, and yellow. It was simple, minimal, modern, and it was deeply symbolic. The 2012 logo wasn't just about aesthetics. It marked Microsoft's transition into a unified ecosystem: hardware and software, cloud and on-premise, productivity and gaming, all working together. It was introduced alongside Windows 8 and Surface, signaling a company ready to compete in a new era of design-centric technology. And here's the interesting thing. The 2012 logo is still in use today. Microsoft has changed the way we work, the way we code, the way we game, and through it all, its logo has been there, quietly evolving with every chapter.